Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, that was a great keynote address by Benchmark ESG Gensuit. Of that, we move on to the first panel session of the day: How Technology Revolutionizing Workplace Safety. Very interesting and very powerful topic. And to discuss on this wonderful panel, I have with me a plethora of experts of the same domain from the HSE sector. So let me introduce without further delay our honorable panel members in sequence. Joining first, we have Rituraj Mehta, Corporate Head Safety from Adani Power Limited and Adani Transmission Limited. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Mehta. Joining next, we have Dr. Arvind Bodankar, Chief Sustainability Officer from Ultratech. Welcome to the panel. Joining next, we have Mr. Sanjay Dave, the VP IMS from HCC. A warm
Good,
welcome to you, Sanjay ji.
good morning to everyone.
Joining next, we have Sunil Belwar, the Joint President and Head Corporate Safety and Occupational Health from Hindalco. A warm welcome to you, Sunil ji.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Sana.
Joining next, we have G. Satyanarayanan, the Regional Senior EHS Leader Asia at GE Healthcare. A warm welcome to you.
Good morning.
Joining next, we have Yogesh Srivastava, the Head EHS and Sustainability from Tata Projects. A very warm welcome to you, Yogesh ji.
Thanks, Anna. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Joining next, we have Rajiv Desai, the business unit head for IoT from Tata Communications. Welcome to the panel, Rajiv ji.
Hey, good morning.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the moderator for this panel session, Ajay Mathur, head EHSCC from L&T Power. So, Mr.
Good.
Mathur, warm welcome to you. All over to you, the captain of the ship, the moderator of this panel. I am looking forward to a fantastic session of all the experts here, and of course, our honorable moderator, Ajay Mathurji. I am sure the panel is in wonderful and able hands. Hope to have a very fantastic panel discussion session. So, all the very best panel members, wishing a great success in the panel. Thank you.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you very much for your kind words. Good morning, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome from all of us for this wonderful first panel discussion on how technology is revolutionizing the workplace safety. Now, this technology, what are we talking about? Is it only one or two things like, the latest buzzwords of IoT? No. If you talk about technology, it is a wide spectrum. Maybe, starting from maybe robotics, maybe from the aerial vehicles like drones, even the softwares, the 3D, 4D softwares, the BIM software, if you have heard of. Then there are, a lot of usage tracking software which we have. Then you have variety of sensors, whether it's infrared. I mean, there are audio, video sensors, to do a lot of monitoring on a different aspects. Then you have a lot of wearables, which of course are, the buzzwords today in these days to monitor the health of the people, to monitor so many things, the environmental parameters also. Then you have the GPS, which can do the tracking for a lone worker or can prevent collisions. Then you have the virtual and digital training, which is in vogue and is becoming very popular post this pandemic situation what we had. We have a lot of mobile apps. And then today, what we are talking about is IoT, the Internet of Things, and the artificial intelligence. So, I mean, what is the Internet of Things? It's nothing but a wireless network of physical devices equipped with sensors, with and computing capabilities that can compute with each other. And these devices are embedded in a great variety of edge applications like modern smartphone, watches, autonomous vehicles, etc. And they can do a variety. I mean, it's only about our imagination. You imagine it, and you can adapt this IoT, AI, and all these put together, combine it, and do the wonders. Whether it is you want to do the preventive maintenance of the machines, or predictive, I will say, whether you want to detect the environmental hazards, whether you want to enforce operating procedures, whether you want to monitor the workmen's productivity or their health. So many things are there. Then we have the smaller things which very much are popular, like smart helmets, smart glasses, etc. And post COVID, all these technological innovations which are already there have accelerated. So without taking more time from my side, I would like to start the discussions on various aspects of this topic, and I will start with Mr. Yogesh Srivastava. As to please enlighten us as to how is technology taking the concept of safety to a whole new level. Over to you, Srivastava.
Thanks, Ajay, and thanks for setting up the context related to the technology and IoT in particular. So, as you have said, just the IoT is more of a physical objects or a cluster of physical objects, which has embedded sensors. It has embedded, analyzing devices. It has embedded, softwares and the technology which can actually communicate between these two devices or the group of devices, and through a set of a medium, maybe internet can be a medium or any other medium, it can have that communication protocol moving on. So this is a concept of an IoT, and the world is moving ahead on IoT. But just imagine the fact that different embedded technologies, sensors giving real-time data, getting into a mode of analytics, and if we integrate automation over it, the world is so beautiful. So I mean, this IoT is not on the horizon of the EHS technologies, and the way forward is actually IoT related to technologies, which is moving forward now. I would all of us like to just imagine a world actually that will create more of understanding part of it. Imagine the world that today in the morning you want to start from your home, and you have your analytics of your car in your mobile app, that this is the way, this is the maintenance percentage, this is the overall health of your vehicle in which you're going to drive moving forward. And once you start driving into the car, you have all analytics related coming up, related to your car, related to different accidents which has happened on the road, or a good road, or even the drivers which has been passing by in the front, on the back of you. You can know the real behavior of those people through those some kind of analytics of the IoTs which have been there in their devices. And once you are there in your office and you have a backup coming up from the remote sensing that this is the total number of people working today, these are the high risk activities moving forward. You put up your helmet there and move on to the site with the real time issues, identification of hazards, and the reports are also getting built into that. And we add more sensors into it, the world becomes more beautiful therefore forward. And once we move forward, then you have a reflective jacket or kind of jacket where sensors related to oxygen or related to different gases are there. And that will help the person to identify whether to move in this particular area or not to move in that particular area. Not even that, it can even record the deviations which a person can see that. It can even record, the incident reporting and those kind of things. Everything is getting automated. Now, this whole phenomena or the whole world of IoT will give us two things. The first thing is, of course, the world will be more beautiful, imagining the world without accidents and things like that. But the powerful thing which this gives is the right way of giving a decision. The right decision will be, data oriented, with a lot of analytics oriented. And this is just first level of analytics. And if we go into second level of analytics, things will be entirely different. So I think we are moving in a very, very, very beautiful world of IoTs where the technologies takes place. And if I can say that EHS technologies, then the spread is so different, so vast. It will help us, the EHS people, the EHS professionals, to actually give right decisions, and it will help management to give the right decisions. But saying all those things, whether it is foolproof, yes or no, I don't know. But what is the important thing here is the leadership. It will not replace the leadership. It will not replace the ethics and that kind of behavior. It won't replace the willingness of the organization to take EHS forward. So these things remains the core, but however, this will be supplemented through the IoT info. So that was my thought, Ajay, on this.
Thanks, Yogesh. I think you have wonderfully, put it across both the technological advantages as well as the limitation part of it, which definitely, we are going to, further, talk about in the later part of this panel discussions. So thank you very much. I would like to now go to Mr. Rajiv Desai, who is the technologist, in our panel, working out these technologies. So, my question to Mr. Rajiv is that how is collecting and analyzing critical data helping in mitigating safety risks? Over to you, Rajiv.
Thanks, Ajayji, and thanks to. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes,
thanks, Ajayji.
Rajiv, you are audible.
Okay. Thanks, Ajayji, for the question, and good morning to all my fellow panel members and all the audience who have joined online. And I'll like to build upon what Yogesh mentioned, right? I mean, yes, I mean, IoT is here to stay, and being in this industry since last 4 years and having seen its I would say so what growth in terms of various elements, right? I mean, the way people are thinking about solutions and all. It has touched safety, and right. I mean, and we are very proud to say that we have been working in specifically on workplace and workforce safety. We have been working on multiple solutions within India and globally as well. And eventually, what it leads to is right. I mean, all said and done, yes, IoT is all about sensors and all, but it's also to do with the human element, right? There is always a human element involved. Technology can always do much. When it comes to safety, it's not technology is never going to be 100%, right? Let me be very clear here. It can bring it to a level where you would be able to detect something, but mitigating a particular risk or actually preventing it is something where eventually it all leads to the process that you set up, and the basic your ER responses that you set up, and the SOPs that are set up in a particular environment, right? So that's two bits on it, right? And coming to your specific question in terms of how data is playing a better role. So I like to put a very simple anecdotal example here, right? So we had actually rolled out a safety wearable. This was like somewhere 2018-19, right? When we launched the safety wearable, which was more towards ensuring the health of lone workers working in very hazardous environments, or environments where typically only one, it's a confined space kind of environment. Right? We started the journey. We didn't know whether we'll succeed or not. And as of today, while we have we have installed it at least in 2 or 3 places, and right now we have literally 40 to 41 potential fatalities or potential calamities have been averted, right? So for us, that in itself is a huge saving. Now, all said and done, the how the data actually comes into picture, right? So when you start collecting data, right, it's always good to say, and sometimes I make a statement is data is overrated. I often make this statement because people think that once you install a technology, I will be able to do wonders with the data that comes in. That's not true. It takes months and years of data to come in for the company and individuals and teams and functions to understand how the trends are, and basis that trend what kind of decisions you want to drive, right? So for me also, when we actually go and talk about our connected worker solution, or when we talk about predictive maintenance for that matter, right, when it comes to predictive maintenance of your machines, often we hear that, okay, I mean, for the lack of, I'll go to the native language, that इसको लगा दिया तो कल से तो हमारा सब चल जाएगा. And I said, no, boss, it takes 6 months. Let it run for 6 months. 6 months, you will understand how the system works. And eventually, that's when the power of data comes in. And it's all about the trends that people observe. And many a times we have seen that a lot of trends, people who are working on the shop floors or in working in the environments, they already know it. It's just about how do you automate that? How do you continuously collect that? and drive certain decisions around it, right? So that's where with IoT, this is going to be a major challenge, because we will eventually number of sensors which were there 3 years ago have literally doubled or tripled when we actually go and talk, right? I mean, multiple things now. I think with the advent of video analytics, edge analytics coming into picture, a lot more things are becoming more fluid, right? But still, at the end of the day, it is still bits and bytes which come into a particular place, and eventually some sense has to be made out of it. And the best seed of making that sense is not technologists, it is the companies, employees, the plant managers, the safety officers, the instrumentation guy, the engineering heads, and all. These are the best guys to make a sense out of data. As technologies, yes, our job is to sort of give you all the data, left data. So that's where things are moving, Ajay ji. And I'm pretty sure, and I think a few of the panel members, I think we have been part of multiple forums. We have been talking to each other as well. Eventually, it all boils down to I always say return on value, right? It's not return on investment, it's return on value, right? If you invested your time, effort, money, what is the value you are getting out of it, right? And sometimes it's always better not to do analysis paralysis. People, I mean, with data generally, I've seen again, people getting absolutely excited to try and out multiple things. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to what is the outcome that you're looking at, and whether that outcome is relevant to your business KPIs and value that you want to generate. With that, Ajay ji, I mean, this is a very interesting topic. We can go on for an entire day, but I'll stop my monologue
Thanks,
here.
Rajiv, for putting in the right perspective that even though you are the technology man, you have put it in the right perspective that, it is not the whole part of the solution. The part of the solution still remains in the core, process as well as the people. And if there is a garbage in, there can be garbage out, and common sense should still prevail upon. Thank you very much, for putting in the right perspective. I'll move it to the next panel member, Mr. Satyanarayan. And I think it's a very difficult question, but then it is in a continuation of what I've talked to Rajiv. I know, Satyanarayan, it's not very easy topic. Are there any limitations in data analytics? And then how they can be improved, for predicting the risk and improving the operations. So over to you, Satyanarayan.
Thanks, Ajay. Hope you hear me. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
you are
again?
audible. Satyanarayan, please
Perfect.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Hey, thanks. Let me give a quick context and then move why data analytics is critical for effective risk management and how it can handle safe operations. We all are aware, I think Yogesh has spoke a lot about IoT, and we heard about how we need to play with data with the previous panel member. We all are aware how information technology have actually influenced every domain in our life and is actually influenced a lot on us as risk leaders. It is apparent as the severity and cost of claims continues to rise, it is imperative for the organization to take a closer look at their existing workplace safety programs. Believe me, the current practice in even the most advanced safety-oriented organization generally involves the analysis of historical safety incident data to identify potential trends. We all know that is largely relies on the analysis of lagging indicators and is limited to the data integrity related to the incident itself. This type of reporting and analysis actually determines what happened, but definitely that doesn't really reveal why it has happened or how it has happened. To get to the root of the problem, organizations need a way to identify a potential causal factors of a safety incident and not on the basis of those factors which predicts the likelihood of future incidents before they occur. The clues to finding the causal factors, however, are frequently hidden in the variables, not captured in the incident reports, such as equipment operations, what we call as process data, vehicle telemetries, weathers, geospatials, socio-demographics, human resources data. Sometimes even we get into our trainings. The list actually doesn't end here. We all know, right? This is where advanced analysis comes in. Through the application of predictive analytics or modeling techniques, what we call here, there are organizations which can begin to identify the driving factors of workplace incidents with the goal of developing effective prevention strategies. The objective here is not actually more of a corrective process, it's more of a prevention process. Yet in this light of siloed data management practices we all have in our organizations, most companies don't know where to begin to leverage the data they have. That's the biggest problem in today's scenario. This is where predictive modeling, advanced machine learning, and data visualization technologies come into play. Predictive modeling, especially when I talk about it, involves an application of data mining, statistical techniques to produce a mathematical model that can effectively predict and segment future events, which is very, very critical. So why we are waiting? Let's buckle up and get started. Irrespective of category of risk, whatever we have in various industries, we all work. If the organization is really committed in applying analytics to inform their decision making around safety, you need to do 2 immediate steps. Step 1, understand and expand data collection. Yogesh spoke about it, Ritu speak about it. It's a very critical step, for which you need to do 3 things. The first thing is that inventory of current data collection and identify additional sources that can contribute to a holistic understanding of safety. This can include mission telemetry, process data, all your equipment data, HR, training, environmental, geospatial, socio-demographic data, and even data from other industry participants, which is very critical, which is going to act as a baseline for you to develop your inventory or build your inventory of data. Once you develop the inventory of data, the next important thing is to evaluate and expand the data collection relevant to the safety organization, which needs to collect a holistic accident data to get a complete view of workplace safety accidents. That's very, very critical. And post-evaluation, the next step is to really expand the view of safety beyond the employee. Safety interventions have been historically employee-focused. Even times of now, we see actually people are focusing on employees. Time to shift our thought. Data can really empower safety strategies with a broader focus on machinery, process, and general working environment. That's the first step. The next step is setting up the organization as risk leaders, as leaders of every organization managing risk. We need to step up and develop a business case that can clearly quantify the benefit of the organization of reducing the occurrence of workplace safety incidents and justifies the expenditure on data analytics capacity. Like the previous panel member said, let's see the return on value and not on the cost. Secure executive sponsorship to really ensure organizational transactions of safety analytics initiatives you want to really lead. Confirm financial metrics. What are the compensation costs, productivity impacts we are talking about? Determine where best to focus efforts for maximum return on safety program investment. That's more critical. And the last critical thing is engaging all the stakeholders, holistic data analysis resulting in multi-channel safety strategy, which will enable different parts of the organization together. While as risk leaders, we strategize everything, it is very important to play it safe. Regardless of the degree of workplace safety risk we all face in our organization, we have an opportunity to apply smart safety analytics to improve likelihood of success the next safety intervention strategy every year, year on year. Whether companies need to really prevent a potential fatality or reduce severity, frequency, whatever it is, important is harnessing the power of a broad range of available data can help enhance overall business efficiency, improve safety outcomes, lower costs related to workplace initiatives. Remember, for risk leaders like us, to strategically design our path forward, we need right structured data, which will give us a defined insight with which we can delineate our intervention to enable safe operations. Back to you, Ajay.
Thank you, Satyanarayana. I think you have very subtly put, the whole aspect of this. And one of the things which, we very clearly comes out is the different, datas which will be unbiased, especially, in a incident investigation. Typically, people go on defensive, and there are different kind of facts which are, not cannot be verifiable. But then if you have this verified, data with respect to what was the speed of the equipment, when it hit something. So there is an availability of the unbiased data, which can be, put together to have a holistic view of the real situation. And then, as you rightly put, that if the, the leadership is ready for, taking care of these incidents, learnings based on this unambiguous, verifiable data, which will this is definitely going to be a helping parameter, not the only thing. It's going to do wonders for enhancing our learning, how to improve upon. Thank you very much. I'll
Absolutely.
move into
Thank
the
you.
next panel member, Mr. Sunil Bailwar ji. And I would like to ask him, what are the technologies in use which facilitate management of change, which is very, very important in our EHS, fraternity, before the problems arise, and that is a predictive part of it. So over to you, Sunil ji. Sunil ji, you are on mute. I think you will have to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing it out. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Yogesh and Raju and Mr. Satyanarayan for throwing light and even enlightening me also along with the audience. Thank you. Thank you once again. And once again, good morning to everyone. It is said that more than 50% changes are failing. So with over 50% of change management efforts failing, it is clear that organizations are not using the right tools or strategies to help the employees understand and adapt new ideas and practices, especially in today's digital workplace, because digital things are bringing lot many changes at a very fast pace. The biggest concern with the digital workplace today is that the technology is moving faster than the people's capacity to learn and keep up. And second is there is a resistance to the change. That is another important thing. First thing is the pace of the change, and second thing, people don't wish to come out of their comfort zone, and hence they have the resistance. Uh, and the resistance will not be from the entire lot, but from some section of the people. Machine learning and artificial intelligence offers an opportunity for organization to capitalize on employees' needs by learning behaviors and anticipating actions that need to occur, and thus taking the burden out of everyday tasks of the people. But beside creating simplified workflows, this digital intervention will create a simplified workflows. But beside creating the simplified workflows using machine learning and artificial intelligence, when it comes to change management, technology should be used to ensure that the workforce is informed at the same time. Many often we are trying to attain the changes without informing the workforce about the change, and in real time with the information that is relevant to them. Known as cascading communication, historically we are using cascading communication. Known as cascading communication, companies have relied on messages reaching team by way of their managers only, which is not only slow down, but also which will slow down the communication bit, but also very, very ineffective. This is where the technology can help. By having a system of a record for workforce communication, personalizing and targeting information to specific groups, the messages can be personalized. Face-to-face interaction is almost
We lost you, Sunil ji.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a disturbance because of call, because I am connected using phone. Okay, so in large organization, communication, one-to-one communication is not possible, and hence we need to create a touch points for the people so that they will get the right communication. The right technology will help level the playing field by allowing every employee at an organization, no matter where or how they work, to experience the touch point necessary for moving them along the change curve. Further, the right technology should be designed to foster and reinforce the necessary interaction that support the change process, not cause more resistance or friction. While business leaders spend a large amount of time and money on communicating the change, they are missing out on an opportunity to encourage employees through personalized communication journey. So you can have a personalized communication with the employees using digital intervention. Technology also plays a critical role in measuring the success of any change management initiative. Technology can be used for that also. Do the people affected by the change understand the impact? What are the questions? Do they understand next step, and are they committed to taking the actions needed? All of this can be measured with the right technology in place, so organization don't have to guess. So you can monitor impact, effect of the change using the technology, and not many things are available to do that, like artificial intelligence and even machine learning, blockchain. All these things, all this technology can be used to monitor change or impact the change or take the change in positive direction. Thank you. Over to you, Ajay.
Yeah, thanks, Sunilji. I think you are rightly put up, and I think probably I will add that all stakeholders have to be taken into account. It should be a bottom-up approach, for developing the systems for based on technology part, but that can be done. So moving on to the next one, I think we are running a bit short of time because there may be certain questions also. Next is Rituraj ji. Would like to ask you which technology tools are helping in monitoring the potential hazards, within the working environment. Maybe if you can enlighten us with some one or two use cases. Over to you, Rituraj.
Yeah, thank you and good morning all again. I'll take the baton from the previous speakers wherein data analytics is done and change is identified, having MOC in place. Also, identified potential wherein human interface is unsafe. So various tools are being used. I'm working with companies which are very different in nature. On one hand, we have thermal power generation wherein big locations are there, a multiple number of people are working out there. On other hand, transmission business is there wherein number of substation spread it across country and hardly 4 or 5 people are working, or you have transmission lines across, you need to travel and check those things. So different kind of potential hazards are there in these two companies. I'll take first example from transmission. I'll just share with you that what we are doing actually. So in case of transmission, traveling is very important. And as you rightly mentioned in the beginning itself, that vehicle safety, use of technology for, field force driving safety is very important. So we have just utilize that application for our people who are traveling either through two-wheeler or with the help of four-wheeler. Either they are traveling as a driver or as passenger. They have option to register those things in their mobile app, and with the help of which we are able to monitor their driving performance or performance as a passenger. So you will find that certain events are there in terms of harsh, driving, over speeding or harsh brakes, sudden turn, or using of mobile during travel. So probably over a period of time, you have those data available for each of your employee, and you can just, counsel them and let them understand that what actually they may not be knowing even that what I'm doing during my travel. So those things are being utilized, and it is giving us a very fruitful result. As far as thermal power generation is concerned, one very fruitful example is having a thermo scanning camera in our coal yard, wherein you scan and then auto sprinkler system can be started. We are also trying to utilize robotic arm for declinkerization and also entering into furnace or chimney painting and other things. The results of which is yet to be arrived. In addition to that, we also do have a system wherein we can just re-verify any person with the help of scanning his a card, that whether he is fit for the purpose or not. Person is going to work at height or maybe in confined space, whether he is properly trained with the help of the record which is available in the system, or whether he is physically fit to do the job or not. So those things are there. In addition to have You already mentioned that sensors are there, anti-collision sensors are there in our railway systems or truck systems, wherein various potential hazard or risk is mitigated. So those things, I guess, in shell, we are actually using also drones. I just missed out there. So for our cooling tower inspection or chimney inspection, we normally utilize drones and avoiding human interface out there. So I can say that yes, technology is something which is, if rightly used, not for the as a fashion. Nowadays, it is. Nowadays, many people are using this word as a fashion, and probably they are utilizing technology without even knowing that is it going to help us. So just to understand that what are our requirements, have a buy-in from the end user first, and then thereafter, intervening with any kind of technology part. We do have dedicated task force for technology in both businesses, even at group level. So we identify many a time with the help of data analytics or potential hazard or many other things, that what are new technologies available and how we can utilize if they are applicable to us for our benefit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rituraj. I think you have aptly put so many applications which your organization is actually using, and they are very, very pertinent. So thank you very much, for enlightening us. Moving on to Sanjay Daveji, I would like to ask that how technology is, helping at-risk employees.
Good morning to everyone, my fellow panelist members and all the audience. Probably all the questions which Mr. Mathur has asked more or less are interlinked, starting with Mr. Srivastav, Mr. Desai, Mr. Sunil, right? Now Mr. Mehta. So safety technology in the workplace has not only improved the employees' health, but has also made them happier and more productive. Technology gives worker the right tools for adequate data collection and faster reaction time. It can help. It can also have the significant impact in the reduction of injuries and the death or accidents in the workplace. Now, those companies, those who are using it, as Mr. Mehta has said, right? So they have the better experience, and their employees are more satisfied, and they are healthy and safe workers. Now, technology is not only helping to the worker the more productive or healthy and safety, that's also expediting the communication between the workers and the management. So technology can reduce this hazards, right? Few examples which we already seen it in the earlier discussion is like that wearable technology, right? We have the session that I started with Mr. Yogesh Srivastav, right? It can be there it can be attached to the skin, it can be attached to the any helmet also, or it can be sticker, right? It gives good risk identification and mitigation measures, right? And as he told, that the identification is improved, but definitely the mitigation has to be done by the workers or the management or who is responsible. Now, another is that there is an advancement in the PPEs, right? We have seen not only it started with not only the IT related, but that safety due to the technology, there is improvement in the PPEs, right? There are sensors to take the smart decisions. Another example that we quoted, the artificial intelligence, right? That we have seen the machine learning, artificial intelligence. So particularly, what I can say, the large and complex EHS compliance program that can be smart decision can be done by using the artificial intelligence. If I talk about the construction industry, which I am representing, the SCC is representing, we are using the tunnel boring machine. So in the tunnel boring machines, we can have the voice commands to alert the workers and operators for whatever can be the changes are there. There can be temperature changes, pressure changes, geological risk are there. So artificial intelligence can help in to that. Another example is the 3D visualization technology, right? So with the 3D visualization software and technology, we can simulate and then see what the product and final structure will be look like that. If I talk about from the civil engineering point of view, there can be that, and we also know that elimination of risk is more important because PP comes at the latter part. So by knowing that, we can have the safety in design technology, and that can analyze the hazard and eliminate the risk. So, and at the same time, we can also have a virtual training program using this 3D technology. Drones we also talk about, with the recent example in the last February in one of our project in Uttarakhand, that had happened. So it is a flash flood occur on 7th of February, and in this tunnel almost around 4 kilometer incredibly packed with the machines, packed with the muck, and the machines were also embedded. So we try to use the drones because obviously when the muck is there, all communication, all lighting, everything that inside, and there are peoples inside, the decomposed bodies are there. It's not too safe. So drones can be used there. Drones can be used for other locations, like where the cause for that was for that due to glacier melting or the long distance flood protections. So they can have the alert warning on the route of the this. There can be another this safety apps. Various safety apps are there. In SCC also we are using some safety apps, right? The DSR portal system, and basically that's are taking a smart decision and quick decision and communication between that. And last one in this, the real time data technology, right? So that again, this as I told, in case of earbud technology or artificial intelligence, the real time data technology helps passing on the communication is faster, so help the management to take the decision fast. Again, in case of a tunnel boring machine, the automatic
Yeah, I think
temperature.
thank you, Sunilji. I think thank you so much for so many inputs you have given to us, and really they are very enlightening. And because of the paucity of time, I think we'll continue the discussion subsequently. I'll like to move on to the last panelist, and as I told that finally we don't want to become robots. So this is a very pertinent question to Dr. Arvind ji. That will technology influence behavior of employees? Will we become robots? And whether what will be our behavior changes with all those gadgets put across all our vests and all parts of the body, and we being monitored by the technology, these technologies. What is going to happen in the we have seen the science fiction movies, a lot of science fiction movies. So what's going to happen? We'd like to listen from you.
Yeah, thanks Ajayji, thanks Sana, thanks Science Group. I wish the answer could be yes and no, but it's not that simple. Let me give you a couple of examples which I have come across. When we put cameras, or my earlier panelist also mentioned that when we put the GPS tracking system in the vehicle, immediately what we have seen is that the driver become conscious, and that influences their behavior. And over a period of time we see that these habits keep cultivating. They know somebody is being observed, or even when we put the cameras either at workplace or lift or wherever, we have seen that people become conscious. I have seen that people referring to the SOPs also. The moment we started putting cameras, initially there was a resistance, but later on, when we put the cameras, people realize that this is for their safety, and they started referring to SOPs, trying to behave in a ideal manner. Uh, Somebody mentioned about the variables, and when we provided the variables, I remember when I was working with the integrated steel plant, and when somebody has to go on the top of the blast furnace where we had CO, we were never confident, of sending somebody to the top of BLT, what we used to call it. And, you don't know how much percentage of CO will be there, at what time it will be there. Today, with the help of variables, even the person employee who is going on the top of BLT is feeling confident, because, and also his supervisor, he's sitting on the ground floor or in the office, feels confident that yes, my person who has gone over there because of the wearables, I'm able to track what is the CO percentage over there, or what is. So overall, technology has really helped people. They have given a sort of confidence. But at the same time, there is a negative side of it also, and I can tell you my yesterday's example only. Uh, I was conducting a training program. The timing was scheduled from 2:30 to 5:30, 3 hours of training, and we had about 45 participants across all the locations. Fortunately, unfortunately, I finished training at 5:15, and then I went for some more time over there, and what I could find that out of 45, about 36 have exited at 5:15. 9, continued to be there. And I said, why are these people? Do they have any questions or something like that? And I started asking, do you have any questions? But then I realized these people had kept the video on, put everything on mute, and they had just exited. So people have been taking technology. People have been using technology to their convenience. That's something which is not encouraging sign, I would say. Even I would tell my example. Perhaps we could be the first one to introduce online work permit way back, almost 19-20 years. And we realized that people have stopped visiting to the shop floors, and they were just sticking online on the permit, and that touch which was required, as Sunil was mentioning about the touch point. Over a period of time, we saw that touch point is lost. अरे हाँ ठीक है ना, देख लिया ना आपने, बराबर है ना, and he used to tick and say yes. So there are both pros and cons of technology. One answer to the question is yes, technology has influenced the behavior of the employees, and how part I tried to explain, but there are both pluses and minuses. If it was some other function than the safety, I would have said that let's 100% follow the technology. But when it comes to people, we have to be reliable. We have to be dependent on both the things, technology as well as human interventions. Both are essential. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Dr. Arvindji. I think you have subtly put it, both the positives and negatives. And we also feel that it's not that everything will change with the technology. Finally, it is the leadership which counts, which will continue to motivate all the stakeholders to move in one direction, and make the things more productive and forward for the organization per se, or for whatever the society we talk about. So technology is not the only thing which can resolve all the situations. I think it was really a wonderful session with all of you. I am really thankful to Rituraj ji, Dr. Arvind, Sanjay ji, Yogesh ji, Satyanarayan ji, Sunil ji, and Rajiv ji. And I'll take this opportunity to thank Cenex also for providing us this platform. I would like to now talk to Sana. If there are any questions, we have probably 1 or 2 minutes remaining. If there are any questions, we can take those. Sana, over to you. I think you are not visible, or not, you are not audible also. Sana?
Mic is mute here.
Yeah, it's on mute.
Yes. Thank you so much. Indeed, that was a great, panel discussion session. Thank you so much, Mr. Mathur, for moderating the panel so well. And thank you so much to all the panel members, Ritu Raj-ji, Dr. Arvind, Sanjay ji, Sunil ji, Satyanarayanan, Yogesh ji, also Rajiv ji. Fantastic having all of you here on a busy working Friday, and for giving time on such an important subject and topic, how technology revolutionizing workplace safety. Thank you so much, and thank you to all our viewers and attendees who are watching this event live. So I'm sure a lot of takeaways from all these interesting people from such an expert panel like this. Thank you so much once again, and thank you so much, Mr. Mathur, for doing the honor of moderating. Hope to see all of you in the next edition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to
Thank you,
Cenex.
Thank you so
and
much.
all the.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.